Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess in Bridget's Grove with a flip through video of my May prayer book. And I still have it in my nice cover from Livy Made with Love, Lacey Hoyt on Etsy. And I added my little There's Magic Everywhere and our new winged Sovereign Mini to the front because there's a little clasp where you can put things on the front of it. So I will take this cover off soon and move it to my June prayer book, which is waiting for its turn in the cover. But I still have some things in the pockets that I didn't necessarily use, or some of the things in the pockets are things I just like to have on hand. So I've got things in the pocket I just like to have with me, like these little notes and things like that, and then some things that I just didn't end up having room to put in this month's prayer book. And ditto, I have some of the printable monthly affirmation stickers. They're still in here. So things like that will get transferred over to my June book, my Vow of Faithfulness, which I still keep in here from Women's Spirit Reclamation. I wrote the vow during the class I took with them last year. And my morning blessing that I've shared several times during live rituals, and so those will move over into my new book. I keep woman runes in the pocket cut out from the back, and I keep the monthly prayer in this word pocket as well. Moon wheel all filled out, and yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and flip through. If you spot anything and you need to know where it came from, please let me know. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter than I used to, so I don't necessarily explain every component on the pages anymore. And so if you spot anything, you can ask me. This was my birthday, so I have a picture of myself, a nice little note from one of our customers in a birthday card, and yeah, so that's what that is. I've mentioned this before, I like to use I do weekly cards for our Goddess Magic community. I call them Inspiration Oracle cards, and I also do poem cards. And so you'll see a lot of those represented. I get them printed out on cardstock so I can have an unfolding coloring oracle deck. And I also got lots of stickers for my birthday, including from some members of the Patreon community, as well as from my husband and kids. So you will see lots of stickers represented in this particular book. And anyway, but you'll also see those cards, because what happens is I get them printed on cardstock to add to my evolving deck, which I'm really planning to use probably as a basis for videos and other content next year. I'm going to draw upon those as a finished Inspiration Oracle deck, but as it's unfolding, I will also print it on colored paper, and then I add them to the book. So there's a lot of those represented. Nice card from Mari, who's one of our moderators and longtime internet friend now. And so I just love how I love how many people are represented in a finished book. It's amazing to me. These were printables. I'm now forgetting who I got these from. It was in an email newsletter, but I do really, and this is from Amanda Fall, Phoenix Soul. These are cut out from her little kit that she sent with her art mail. And then, you know, the stickers come from people that send them to me. And it's just really fun to have the interweaving of relationship present. This is from Amanda Fall's little kit as well. This is art that was shared in the Creative Spirit Circle Facebook group. There's a card from Amanda and my own little printable cards there. And, Northern Lights we got to see. So exciting. That was amazing. And so that's represented. Some mushrooms from a National Geographic issue that Juliet sent to me. Lots of great fungi backgrounds. This is actually real lilac that was picked when, just a little bloom that was picked. I think it was either from Co-op or from the campus when I took my son there for his presentation. Actually, I think it was from Co-op. This temple looks like it's coming detached, so I'll need to glue that back in. And then we were traveling for most of May. So this is a picture of Mother's Day cards for my kids. And we were traveling for most of May. So my prayer book pages feature a lot of pictures and less connection to the word of the day because they're more focused on what we were actually doing that day. So our flight left at 5:25 a.m. And so we stayed in a hotel and did the park and fly in St. Louis before we left. We still had to get up at 2:30 in the morning, but we really couldn't have done it from home. It's about a 2.5 hour drive to get to the airport. And so that we had to stay in the airport, or stay in that hotel. They do the park and fly thing. So we were able to leave the car parked there and then get a shuttle when we came home. Oh, there's a raccoon going by. I'm going to show you. There it goes. Passing through. Probably checking on the mulberry trees to see if there's any mulberries. We have a mother raccoon pretty much every year who raises her babies up, I think, under the tiny temple. And it's interesting to see because raccoons are not nocturnal. They adjust to whatever schedule that is most opportunistic for food, and but people think of them often as nocturnal because what's most opportunistic for food is often at night. But the mothers, when they're nursing babies, they will be out all the time looking for food, and then I would venture to say in another month or so she'll have babies trundling along after her, also following her same route, checking for food in these various places. We used to watch them. They'd actually climb up the same tree every day and look at the berries to see if they were ready to eat, which was pretty funny. And I'm pretty sure I just picked wild raspberries today, and I am pretty sure that they've been into my wild raspberries as well because there was some crunched down branches I think they were going to getting and things like that. So these stickers were sent to me by Dawn a while ago. Oh, this was a t-shirt tag. Isn't that fun? Those stickers were sent to me by Dawn a little while ago, and so I got to use them. Did not get to actually see Dawn, who lives nearby. I should have tried to set that up, but there's a lot of things to take care of, and I did not. And then this was a t-shirt tag as well that I made a little book in, which was pretty fun if I do this myself. And stuck that in there. So lots of pictures from things that we were doing and explorations that we were having. I don't bring that many journal supplies with me because I find that usually you can snag up little maps and other things like that. That was another one of the stickers from Dawn's stuff. So she sent that to me quite a while ago, and I finally had the perfect time to use them. And this was another printable from that same kit that I referenced, another thing from Amanda Fall. And these are cards that I'd made for our Goddess Magic patrons. Anyway, these are real. Those are real. This one's not. Kind of funny, I think. And anyway, I find there's a lot of bits and pieces that are around that you can get so that you don't necessarily have to bring that much stuff with you, and your pages will still be interesting and have a lot going on. So these were we went to Legoland, as my youngest son really, really, really wanted to do. And so those are some flowers from Legoland. The Legoland in Florida, we've been to Legoland in California too. About 11 years ago, but the Legoland in California is in the old Cypress Gardens Cypress Gardens Botanical Garden. So there's some nice flowers around. I did not get to look at them as much as I would have liked to, but still you spot bits of magic where you are. I bought an anklet, ta-da, and then I kept a little flip tag and stuck it in there. And yeah, my son finished his high school final exam while we were there, so we got him a little cake for his graduation. And these are all from little tourist type of things. And there's my room key tag there. This poem I had to write in the car on the way through Orlando. And so I printed it out when I got home and stuck it in there. Rose petals. So now we're home again already. Graduation ceremony. Nikki sent me some great writing themed stickers, so that's fun. You'll see those start popping up in here with different things. It's pretty fun. I'm stuck at the License Bureau for ages, and then they had these very incongruously lovely business cards at the license office. Does that look like a DMV business card? it is a DMV business card. Deceptively peaceful, because that's not really how it felt. And but I went ahead and added that to my book. Birthday card from Saray that I included in here. This was a birthday card for me, but I didn't have room for it earlier in the book, and so I put it in on our second son turned 18 in May as well. So I ended up putting the birthday card in on his birthday, even though the card itself was actually for me on my birthday. But I thought that was kind of a fun little connection, because then it still says happy birthday, and then I still get to keep the cards in there. I used to sometimes cover up the messages in the cards, and now I leave them if I can, so that I can still read them later if I want to, instead of covering up the things that people write. And I went to the dentist this day, so that's why the teeth, you wouldn't think you'd use a sticker of teeth, but sometimes the moment arises and you have what you need. And so then here we are already at the end of the month. I taught a little bookmark making class at Co-op, so that's a tag bookmark from that. Has another little tag in there. So that's why that bookmark is in there. And my Oshun card as well as, so she was the stowaway to the beach this year. And then Suna was my card that I had set aside from my goddess packets from Gaia Goddess Gathering this last year. And then I went ahead and just filled in some extra stuff on the extra blank pages to fill those up. And then I still need to tear out some remaining prayers, and then I've got some leftover bits and pieces here in the back that will get moved on over to my June book, which is ready and waiting. I can briefly show you that I've got the snapshot cards making a pocket. That's what I tend to do, is make snapshot cards with the pockets. Whoops. And oops. Where is it? Okay, there it is. There's my pocket, all ready to go for June. And so I only have the first page filled out in that one, but it's ready to roll. Okay, so then I'm going to quickly move on over to my little mini prayer book. For this one, I did as a combined. This is for both Pandora and Oshun. So I've got little tag bookmarks with the quote-unquote stickers. I made those for the Goddess Magic patrons as well. Sticker from Kelly Lincoln of Dancing Goddess Dolls as well. She's not Oshun or Pandora, but she still reminded me of Pandora. She's really Carmelita, I believe. Carmenta, I believe. And so the little tag bookmarks are in there. And then this was the first time I've ever done that, is I sewed both of them together. So Pandora and Oshun don't really have an overlap in terms of, the kind of goddess that they are. But I had a single guidebook for Simple and Sacred Love and Trust for our months of April was Trust and May was Love. And so I went ahead and put the little prayer books together into a single thing. I had this lovely card that was from Lacey as well. And it's so cute. It's sewn. I just love it. And so it was definitely good to do a prayer book cover with. And so I sewed both the books in there simultaneously. And Pandora's, I didn't add a bunch to. I get these printed on colored paper. They're black and white files, but I get them printed on colored paper at Staples and then fold them together. And so because it gives them that little pop of color, and then I don't feel like I need to color them necessarily or put stickers in them. I have a lot of stuff that I work on each month and put together. And so I like it just being on colored paper. And then I cut out tiny little woman runes, one symbol for each direction. And then these are like reconfigured pieces of my own poems made into a center message. And then, so that was Pandora's little mini prayer book. These are part of the Goddess Guidance Club, which is a benefit to our Goddess Magic patrons I've been making. So I have the thematic card packet that I've been making, Goddess Guidance Club packet for everybody. And then I do a little mini devotional prayer booklet that goes with that Goddess Guidance Club as well. So Oshun's was free in May. It's still available if you missed it. And just because I had chosen Oshun for May does not mean that you couldn't, for example, choose to print out this little prayer book and then use it for the whole rest of the year. Like, you're not limited to just a month. You're not limited to something that I said, you know, if I have her associated with May for me, that doesn't mean that that has to be true for you. So you're fully welcome to use these resources later in the year or put them in where they fit for you. Oshun feels like a very energetic, summery type of goddess to me. And she really might be great for July or August or continued work through the course of the year. And so in her little book, I put a lot more stickers. I was feeling a lot more stickery and had a lot more fun putting some things in for her. So hers is a little more lively than Pandora's was, with extra additions and a peacock feather and some extra stuff. I still didn't color in it very much, but I put a lot of things in there for her. And then, so that's the devotional prayer book. And then I'm just going to really briefly flip through the guidebook. So I did the Simple and Sacred guidebook for April and May combined, and I kind of wish I hadn't. I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's a great resource, but what happened is it got too fat, and the cover started to rip off, and then really, to be truthful about it, I got kind of tired of seeing the same pieces every time. And I really like, something I really love about 30 Days of Goddess is the changing container, and changing to something else once a month really holds a lot of power, I feel like, and it gives you, it's kind of a built-in ritual or a structure. And so keeping the one book for 2 months felt like I was spending too much. It's a kind of a split, because it didn't feel like enough time with the goddess, but it felt like too much time with the same like poems in the same words. And I really wanted to move on. I really wanted to like switch to something different. And then also the wear and tear on the book, it was starting to get all torn up. So anyway, I ended up splitting out. I had done the same thing. So as far as printing goes, it makes a lot of sense to have 2 in 1, because then the printing costs are dramatically cheaper to have 2 printed in 2 months done at once. It's like halves the cost to do that. But I ended up, so I gave options to the Goddess Magic patrons for June and July, in that I gave them a June-July file that has both the guidebooks together, and then I also pulled out just June by itself, and that's what I opted to print for myself, is I printed the Just June's book. I have a tiny copy of Freya's prayer book in there, but I pulled out just June's, and then that's what I got printed, and then I'll do the other half for July. But I went ahead and provided both files to the patrons so they can choose what works for them. If they want to save on printing costs, they can get them done together, or they can do them separately. So anyway, I just felt like it was a little hard to do in the same book. So Pandora, and then she has the little mini copy of the prayer book that I just flipped through. The mini version is there in a pocket, which I think is pretty adorable if I do so myself. And then Oshun's pages, practice ideas, daily practice info. And this one, I actually did quite a bit of coloring in. That's another thing about having the 2 in 1, and then Oshun's tiny book. That's one of the things about having the 2 in 1, is that you do have more time to, go ahead and color a little bee or add a little sticker if you want to, instead of moving on. A month can be awfully short, and you might end up moving on before you're really kind of quite ready. So there's definitely some advantages to both, but I was happy to go back to the single guidebook for June. I think it's I really wanted to color those, and I didn't, and I'm probably just gonna let them go. That's one of the lessons really from 30 Days of Goddess. It's one of the lessons from a dedicated practice, is that sometimes we just exhale and we let things go, and we lay things aside, and we pick up other things, and that's okay. Instead of trying to go backwards, trying to rewind, trying to catch up, trying to do it right, instead we start where our feet are again and again, and we return again and again. This was a fun little, you can't see it very good, it was a fun little thing from Kimberly Rodriguez of Poetic Goddess, and I made it into a card and then put extra little stuff inside. And I think these were stickers from Kim from the group, and then I did prints with co-op, so I put one of the prints in there as well. And more stickers showing up. And then I made this great little book of ideas on myself. This was Amanda Fall's materials and my own stuff combined. And there's actually a separate flip-through video on YouTube about that little book, because it was so fun. And then card that came with stickers and solar eclipse in April. So I have my eclipse grid in there. This one has like extras. This was supposed to be taped down with washi tape, but it keeps coming loose because I wanted to keep both sides available. And so it's kind of a little loose in there. And but that's okay. More stuff in there. And then these, I had fun with these pages where I just went kind of wild with stickers. And then this little extra book from Amanda is in there as well. And there we are. Already getting to the end. I'd saved this sticker for so long because it's so nice, but also because it's too big for my normal size prayer book. So it finally found a home as a nice flower archway in my May and my April-May book. And then there's the remaining snapshot cards for this practice. I do love using these little pockets. That was a tip from Saray that really so useful. And so those are just clear index card pockets from Amazon, but they make such great little slides. And then you can just touch base and revisit it again and again. I really think of these books as rituals of returning and pathways back home. And so anything that we can have that brings us back to center, that helps us to return, that roots us back into the sacred, that is so, so, so important. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and a reminder that you can access tons and tons of free stuff, videos, and printables at 30daysofgoddess.com. And then if you want to go even further and experience a devotional community, you're welcome to join us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/goddessmagic. So multiple levels and ways to engage and to really live your magic. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.